NFL Blitz has been the worst kept secret for a long time with home arcade releases. I think pretty much anyone watching this video, you've known this was coming. What's new is the artwork seems to have leaked. Now, I don't know the validity of this artwork, but it certainly looks like the kind of renders Arcade 1-Up makes. I'm strongly inclined to believe this is real. And it's exciting because this is a seminal arcade game a lot of people like, and I think it represents a movement into the more modern 3D polygon-based arcade games. Not the first time we've seen a polygon-based release from Arcade 1-Up, but Blitz is really taking 1-Up into the future, into the 90s.
It's the 90s.
Big time into the 90s. I think this title launched in 1998. But it's just a turning point. The computer that they have, well, more specifically the system on a chip that they use here, and we don't know any details on it, but whatever they use that runs Blitz, assuming it runs it well, that is going to unlock a lot of other possibilities for games. I know a lot of us are excited for Time Crisis. That's another great example. But these games that haven't been feasible for Arcade 1-Up in the past, well, Blitz tells me that they are now going forward going to be feasible. To me, that's almost more exciting. I'm not a football fan, but I know for a lot of people, obviously, this is no surprise, extremely passionate around the NFL, but even beyond that, a lot of us just passionate about Blitz in general. It's a really exciting game. You know, that arcade gameplay style, fun game, made a huge impact. So this is super exciting even for me as a non-football fan. And as far as the render specifically, I'm impressed, and for sure going to reserve my judgment until we see this thing actually live in the wood. But for now, as it exists as a render, looks really nice. Look at the slight tilting of the control panel. Looks great. The control panel overhang suggests that this is going to be roomier, perhaps, than past 4-player Arcade 1-Up cabinets. The artwork looks really good. Of course, you notice this Legends label. What does that mean? I'm not sure. It could be some branding just from the NFL. It might have nothing to do with the game. It might be NFL Blitz in its entirety with no changes. And Legends might reflect just some branding stuff from the league, because this is, well, it's a retro product. It's a vintage product. And NFL, I'm sure, is interested in mining that any nostalgia they might have for, you know, the good old days. But it might also mean this is actually a modified title. Maybe they've removed players. Maybe they've reduced some of the violence, the impact. I never knew where this rumor came from, so I never knew if this was just one of those myths or if it was real, but it certainly sounded real, that the NFL was concerned about the violence in NFL Blitz, and that was why they hadn't done much with the IP for a long time. We all repeat that like it's true. I don't actually know the source of it, but it may well be true. It seems like it would be true. And if that's the case, it wouldn't be a big stretch of the imagination to think maybe they pulled out some of the violence, maybe they've altered the game in some way, and for that reason, it's a Legends cabinet. It's not just NFL Blitz. But that's definitely not to be taken for granted. It could just be branding, like I said. Time's going to tell on this. We just need to wait and get more information. The quad coin doors, molded coin doors, chef's kiss. That is awesome. The molded coin doors look great. I said this years ago that we should get coin doors, and a lot of you, I think, disagreed. What's the point if it doesn't take coins? But now that we've seen it, if a lot of us have seen it in person with cabinets that we bought, I know I have one with molded coin doors, X-Men I think it is, that has it. I don't know, because I haven't been in my basement to play games in forever, because my basement sucks, until I move in like a month and a half, and then everything's gonna be cool again. I can go back to enjoying my arcades. But anyway, they are nice, and I think they work because 1-Up did a good job with the molding. They did a good job making the key, you know, the faux key door look like it's steel and all that. So none of that's news, but I'm glad to see they're carrying that forward to this NFL Blitz design. I'm also a little, I don't know if surprised is the right word, but it's interesting to me that we get the riser. I think I'm okay with that right now. At this point, I'm skeptical that Arcade 1-Up can pull off a pro type cab cost effectively, higher quality system on a chip to run Blitz, which is going to be here anyway. Plus, better materials, a monitor that's good quality that hits that 19-inch threshold, they may be locked out of Pro Cabs. And as someone who advocated for an equivalent of a Pro Cab, and as someone who was super excited when I saw Killer Instinct Pro, that might be the right decision because these prices have gone up. Who wants to pay $1,200 for something that, you know, might last 5 years, but is it really going to be around in 20 years? I mean, I doubt it. I think that those boards will probably burn out before that. And as that price gets higher, it just becomes more of a concern. But if this is reasonably priced and they just need to keep it on the riser and keep that original design, you know, I'm okay with that. I think that the newer Arcade 1-Up designs are better than ever. Of course, we've got to wait and see how the monitor holds up, the audio, all of that. Because, you know, if the audio is bad and muted on this, that'll be inexcusable. But I have to think they will have figured that out. That seems like a wiring issue to me, and I think that they will have figured that out by the time this drops. Anyway, as someone who hasn't bought an Arcade 1-Up in a while, because I don't have a good place to put it, this would be an exciting cabinet to add to my new home office when I move. What do you guys think? Does this do it for you? What do you think of this design? What do you think of the form factor? I mean, also, I should note, they got rid of the Midway box, right? Isn't that kind of weird? They brought the Midway control panel shape to some of their other legacy cabinets, including Capcom. But then this is a Midway cabinet. It doesn't have it. That's a little funky, but I really like the tilt, so I don't know how much I want to complain. I love the apron graphics here, by the way. I added that aftermarket to my Golden Tee 4-player control panel. Looks a lot nicer. I'm glad they didn't leave that blank. That is a nice finishing touch. But I don't know why not the Midway control panel. Maybe they just don't have a good design for it for 4-player. I guess that's probably the answer. And what games do you want to see on here? I mean, probably Blitz 99. What else might we get? I'll tell you what I would like to see on this is Gauntlet Legends. A lot of you played Gauntlet in the arcade back in the day, but I don't know, you know, Legends wasn't as popular, but that was a 3D polygon-based Gauntlet game. And to me, you know, I'm a little younger than some arcade enthusiasts. To me, Legends was how I experienced Gauntlet for the first time. So I have a lot of nostalgia for that. I'd love to see that here. I'd love to see it on its own arcade. I just doubt we'll ever get that. I don't know that that game has enough popularity to warrant it. But on the Blitz cab, oh man, if I could get a classic arcade sports title and a really fun dungeon crawler like Legends on the same cabinet, that would be sweet. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think below. Wanted to get you out a quick video before I head to some work I need to get done. Hit that like button if you enjoy the video, guys. Good to chat with you again, and I'll talk to you soon.
Game over.